Thank you. I need to work on my LinkedIn profile. I'm no longer a board member at INEG. I'm no longer chairman of Junior Regime at INEG. I'm merely a board member, and I don't think I ever had an employment agreement with DNB Bank, but maybe I was filling it out drunk or something. So yes, I'm Šarūno Skyriaus. I'm an investment banker, not merely some banker. So my job is to buy and sell companies on behalf of my clients, and also to raise capital for companies that want to do things with that money. And the title of my speech is more or less downgrades my job to that sort of not that important, because it's the clients that have the ideas, and I'm merely the one introducing them to capital. But unfortunately, that's true for me. Unfortunately, for everyone else, it's okay. Professor McCloskey actually said all the things I wanted to say, so I'll just rehash them in a different manner, maybe, but also make things more interesting by basically challenging the whole notion of creating a Silicon Valley in Lithuania, because why the hell should we want to do that? I mean, if to kind of take a page from Peter Thiel, you want to go from 0 to 1, rather than from 1 to 1. So because there's, as Professor McCloskey mentioned, Birmingham, but also the whole textile and fashion industry of Italy. Let's create that. What do we need? Good-looking people? Check. Some sort of textile industry. I mean, look around Comas. Check. Plenty of dead factories that used to make ugly clothes. What else? Capital, yeah. Government export support schemes, yeah. Please buy ugly Lithuanian bikinis or something. I guess, I'm probably wearing my heart on my sleeve. Is that correct? I'm not a big fan of this sort of let's build something big, and this being an election year in Lithuania, all the main parties are more or less marketing that our GOS plan is going to be much better than the other guy's GOS plan, but they're basically competing whose GOS plan is better, whereas should we have a GOS plan is the right question, and that is, I guess, also the problem with the European Union. It's just a sort of meta GOS plan. To some extent. But, back to my topic. Ideas are the most important, capital is not that important. You need capital, but I guess it's pure math to anyone who's at all familiar with how startups work and the whole venture capital industry works. Is basically, if you're a venture capitalist, like that guy who came to Silicon Valley in the 60s, Bird was his family name, I think. Actually, was the first venture capitalist, was on the cover of Time magazine. They invest into 100 companies, out of which 90 go bust within a year, and then 10 survive, but 8 of them are walking dead, and one does okay, and one sort of repays for everything else, plus 3 times money on the whole bunch. So that means that there were 100 ideas, 98 of which were pretty bad. And it's not that, but they were pretty good that they got funded. So for every 100 that got funded, there's probably 10,000 that don't. I think if we want to take out something positive, because I don't want to be the guy who said that let's not do anything. Let's do something. I think that there's something that we can do as a society, and this being an election year, is think very carefully who you vote for and who you don't vote for, and see perhaps that we get someone who can create the prerequisites that would actually spark a new Silicon Valley, because Silicon Valley was not born because State Department called the Justice Department, called the Small Business Administration, and then the President announced the 5-year plan, and then they said, behold, California, we're going to have a valley, and it shall be called Silicon. From thenceforth shall spring multitudes of companies which shall remake the world into a better place. Well, this is actually what happened. Yes, they did that. Not really. But it sort of emerged. But it didn't sort of emerge. Because I guess the popular myth is that California had fruit orchards, brown semiconductors. Well, not necessarily. I mean, this is actually the wrong narrative. There was a measuring instrument industry, there was then vacuum tubes industry, then Hewlett and Packard, then Stanford established Hewlett and Packard in the proverbial garage, as they all do apparently. I don't know what is it with garages, maybe I should sleep in one. And then, sort of all these things led to another, then Fairchild Semiconductor, then the Traitorous 8, then out of the Traitorous 8, Traitorous 2, then it was Moore and that other guy who established Intel, and that sort of, it came into being spontaneously, but it came into being, and then sort of it became a reinforcing loop of innovation, talent pool, culture of trying and not being afraid to fail, and right now Silicon Valley is the best place to launch a startup, despite the fact that it's probably the most, I think out of 7 most expensive zip codes in America, 4 are in the Bay Area. So it's impossibly expensive to live there. I have a friend who works at Facebook. He paid some insane amount for his house. He would probably buy half of Vilnius for that price. Definitely all of the Saginas. And now it's the best place. Why? Because it attracts the best talents from America, but also from around the world. 50% of all engineers in Silicon Valley are foreign-born. Over 50%, I think it's over 50% of all tech CEOs are foreign-born. It has, educational reform in the US, or the quality of American education, has only under 50% to do with the success of Silicon Valley, so that's something to ponder. It's, I guess, it's the spirit of entrepreneurship, and I guess also being part of America, warts and all, that kind of helps you because you're immediately part of a giant market, but also you're part of a giant entrepreneurial culture. Where every immigrant Jose thinks he can make it. If not him, then at least his kids. So, to take away from this rather random rambling of mine, I should say that good ideas, trade-tested learning. That's a very good phrase, by the way. Make sure that people are going to buy the stuff that you're selling, and guys like me or someone even better will get you the capital. It's not a problem. The problem is ideas.
Good.